Now, with our GMA cover story, for 75 years, the American Cancer Society has released a definitive annual report on the state of cancer in our country. Well, this morning, Dr. William Dahut, the Chief Scientific Officer of the American Cancer Society, joins us exclusively with the biggest headlines. And let's say good morning to you, Doc. Thank you for being here with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me here today.
Always great to have you here. And we're going to start out with the most positive headlines. For the first time in history, 70% of people diagnosed with cancer are now reaching the 5-year critical survival milestone, which is very, very critical. So how did we get to this point?
It's really an exciting point. You know, if we went back to the 1970s, less than half of the people would be cancer-free or surviving, at 5 years. So it's really been driven by a couple things. Number one, tobacco. Tobacco use and really drives so many cancers. So the fact that 44% of people were smoking in the 60s, like only 11% now, that's dramatic. Second, for those cancers that we can screen, early detection has made a difference. And finally, therapies. Our science is finding really better therapies, changing the lives of folks. And really, we've doubled the 5-year survival rate for people with metastatic disease now.
Wow. That's saying a lot there.
That's a big deal.
That's a big deal. And so more people are not just surviving, they're thriving after having a cancer diagnosis. And the latter stages, it used to be that was considered terminal. It's changed now to being considered chronic. So what can you tell us about that data?
I love the way you use the term thriving.
Yeah.
We see people now with advanced cancer diagnoses going to work, walking the dog, going to soccer games, taking out the garbage. And we've seen now about 35% of folks with metastatic disease are really alive at 5 years. That's a huge improvement. But, I think we need to be aware life is hard for everybody. But when you have a cancer diagnosis, there's a certain emotional, physical, social burden that we need to be aware of. People don't want to be pitied. They want to thrive. But we need to be sensitive to that. And people shouldn't be afraid to sort of reach out and talk when you need help to talk to somebody about it.
That's really good advice right there. Lung cancer is still a challenge.
Yes.
What kind of progress are we making on treatment?
Well, overall, let's talk about lung cancer. It's still the #1 cause of cancer mortality. It's more than twice as much as number 2 and number 3, which are colorectal cancer and pancreas. We've actually made some really important improvements in therapy. It's one of those diseases where we really have targeted therapies for populations of lung cancer patients. Some of those people with lung cancer are now living 3, 5, 7 years, taking oral treatments, which change over time. They're thriving. And I think we need to actually find increasing ways to find even additional therapies and also to look for screen for people that are at high risk.
But you can't discuss cancer without discussing disparities in treatment and also in diagnosis. And Native American communities, they have a death rate that's twice that of white Americans with several of the same types of cancer. And black people have a higher rate as well. So what is being done to combat these disparities like those?
These are great points, Michael. Let's talk a little bit about the Native Americans and Alaska Native population. I think people don't realize really how high the cancer mortality rate is in that population. That's the group that's the most adversely affected. I think there are two things. First of all, we need to ensure that everybody has the same access to the same screening and same treatment. We know from the military system and other closed health systems, if you actually treat everyone with the same access, we have stage for stage, grade for grade, we really have the same outcomes. We can often eliminate some of the disparities. But then we have subpopulations that we need specific attention to. Alaska Natives actually have the highest colorectal cancer case in the world. And oftentimes they have colorectal cancer in their 30s and 40s. We're actually looking at really changing our screening guidelines to actually look at that in a different way. We know black men are much more likely to die from prostate cancer, so we need attention. And we're seeing black women actually have an increase in endometrial cancer and some subtypes that are really difficult to treat too. So basically better access and attention when we see actually biological differences.
That needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
2 million in 2026 are going to hear the words, "you have cancer." What do you want them to know?
It's never great to be told you have a cancer diagnosis. Let's not be Pollyannish. But I think we need to be optimistic about really what one's outcomes can be. Looking at what science has really done, we work together in the science world. We've made incredible improvements over time. And so I think if we, particularly for those cancers where we have better therapies, we can tell people there's a really good chance you're going to do very well. And for those other ones, I think people to know science is really working hard, not only to improve outcomes, or really, we want to cure patients. I mean, this is what we really should be working on.
So many times people reach out because they know that I've gone through it a couple times.
Right.
And I tell them the progress that's been made since I was diagnosed, the progress that has been made is tremendous.
Yeah, you know, we're in our last miles. You know, in a marathon, the last miles are really hard. We're not there yet. But if we all work together, we can slug up those last 6 miles and get to the end there.
So there is hope. And
there's
I think that's
definitely
what
hope.
people are looking for.
There's definitely hope.
All right, thank you, Dr. Day.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Appreciate having you here.
Yeah, it's warm.